has certified your assessment August the 7th, and there is a new KRS regulation that allows 45 days per district that are not adopting the 4% rate to establish a final tax rate. Any district that fails to meet this deadline shall be required to use the compensating tax rate for that year's property taxes.
So if we don't do it, we'll have to take the low rate. If we don't do it with him, by the end of the night, we'll be locked into it.
If we don't do it on the 22nd. Would the board like to table this and come back to a special meeting and give it further thought? That's something you'd like to consider.
Is it possible for the audience to ask a question?
Sure.
How much did you say it was per year? $20?
It's going to be 2.2 cents
Okay, I understand that.
per $100 assessment.
Right.
So it's going to be $2.20 per
thousand.
Okay, we do not have a $200,000 house. How much did you say that would increase it?
220 for $40.
How much?
$20 and something.
$20. So that's basically less than $2 a month we're talking about. Is that right?
Amy, you're good at math. Okay, you're talking.
$22 per year. That's less than $2 a month we're asking people on property to pay so that we can have an extra $100,000.
It's an insignificant amount. I mean, you know, based on.
I just divided by all.
Yeah, based on what you pay.
Okay, that's one less sweet tea at McDonald's.
Yeah, that's what it comes down. I mean, I'm not talking about a whole lot of money. I mean, believe me, I don't want to raise taxes. I mean,
On a
Becky, you
200.
know that, right, Becky? I'm not for, because, I mean, I roasted you all last year for taking, if you remember the thing, for taking the compensating rate because assessments were up. And they took the 4% on top of that, so they got quite a bit of money last year. Now assessments are down and we're stuck with this. I mean, this is something that we have to do. I mean, really, I don't see any way. We need to. Okay.
I'll tell you what I'll do.
I made the motion. You go ahead.
I'll second.
We have a second. All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. It goes to the 4%.
If this isn't popular, then you know who gets the blame for it. I'm sorry, but I mean,
I want to make sure you give a good explanation.
oh yeah, yeah.
Next item on the agenda is approval of district assurances from Martin County School District. We went over that in the work session. One comment to that.
As we talked about in the work session, district assurances are an annual assurance that we send in the KDE to indicate that we are good stewards of the money that we receive and compliant with where they're supposed to be spent.
There's no further discussion. I need a motion to approve. Have a motion, need a second. Have a second. All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is approval to form and elect a board member to serve on the local facilities planning committee. I have one comment on that. I just think we don't do that. I think Mary had served on it.
It is. The local facility plan was submitted back in June. It was waived because there were no changes made to it other than renovations that were completed at the elementary school. So now that that has been posted, we are now into an area that we've merged two middle schools and closed, rather not closed, but we've had to vacate Shelter Park High School. So we'll need to go forward with the facility planning committee.
I think since Gary is already serving on that, I would like to nominate him to serve on the planning facility.
I don't have any problem. I talked to Tim Lucas, and Tim Lucas asked me if I could get on it. I told him, I said, well, I was on it the last time. And, yeah, and I want to do, you know, more, I want to treat it more than just a, I want to do it more than just a compliance issue.
Yes.
You know,
And we can all attend it.
yeah, there's some things that we need to do.
All right, I made a motion to nominate Gary to the local facilities planning committee and also the approval to form the local facilities planning committee. Have a second on third, indicate something. All right, any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, approval to form and select a board member to serve on the local.
And Mr. Chairman, as we have discussed in the past, moving forward, and this is the budget committee that, not necessarily to target the working budget for September, but the budget going forward for this school year. I think it's important that we get a good population, good representation across our school district, from the leadership, from the classrooms, classified, certified, to come together and try to be creative and innovative about ways that we can become more efficient in our budget processing.
Do I have a nomination from the board for board member to serve on the budget committee? Okay, so.
I'll second.
Second. All in favor, indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Discussion and/or action on district-owned property.
Mr. Chairman, as discussed in the work session, there are 4 pieces of property that the board should consider designating as surplus property. In this motion, I would also recommend that we contact a realtor to hold the property for at least 6 months, have the property appraised if necessary. Now, I understand the previous board office property has been appraised recently, over probably the last year or so. We may not have to have that reappraised, but I would certainly recommend to the board that in this motion that we would have the properties appraised, have a realtor hold them for at least 6 months, and designate them as surplus, and at that time we can come back and reconsider the issue whether we're going to have an public auction for the highest and best bidder. Also within that surplus property is listed 2 blazers that were donated to the Board of Education by the Health Department. The Health Department has been contacted, Mr. Larry James did today, and Mr. Steve Ward informed us that we could take whatever action we wanted to on, but they belong to us. So I would recommend the 2 blazers be designated surplus. This will also go into the surplus, in surplus property that we have at Shelter Park. We haven't gone through that yet, so we're not going to designate any of those items as surplus. Right now, it's just the blazers and the property going forward.
Yeah, I'll make it.
I'll say. We have a motion and a second to designate surplus property and appraise properties on 4 parcels plus 2 Chevrolet Blazers. Motion and a second. All in favor, indicate by saying aye. 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 Any opposed? Motion carried. I'm on track here. Next item on the agenda is approval to enter into executive session to discuss proposed litigation pursuant to KRS 61.8101C. I need a motion to enter into executive session. I have a motion. I need a second. I have a second. All in favor, indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Stand in executive session for just a moment. Thank you for your patience.